is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
Yeah, baby. I almost said a bad word, but I realized it was like we're 30 seconds in, and you're just gonna drop that.
Right? Like, that's not even me. I'm Tyler.
I'm Jake. This is
off
episode
panel. Sorry.
off. No.
We suck. Off panel, off topic.
Number 167. You'd think at this point we'd figured it out, but we haven't.
I think that's the charm of the show.
Really? I think that's
Listen, we maybe only have 13 listeners, but those are diehard 13 listeners.
that's my mom. No. That
Oh.
God, please don't listen to this, mom.
At least, yeah.
Don't you
At
dare.
least half the people, the 13 that listen every week.
Yeah. Step inside.
Walk this way. Hey, hey.
I had to turn the soundboard on.
Did
Did you hear about what happened to Shannon Sharp? That whole story? 'Cause
Yeah, you told me off the air, but
I was
do we
about
really
to
need
use that drop.
Oh, which one?
Your fault. But no, I won't talk about it because it's not really what
Excuse me,
what
I
we
need
talk
a burp.
about. But that story is wild.
You know, 9/10 of good radio is preparation. The other,
It's your fault. It's your fault. Be mad at yourself.
That was Shannon after he got caught on Instagram Live doing the deed. He was in good spirits about it, so it's nice to know that he could laugh
look,
about it.
the guy is intelligent. He's good looking.
Dude.
He's loaded.
Can I just
Dresses well.
This is the only reason I want to talk about it. I watched this podcast because I'm subscribed to it on YouTube. I usually watch it anyway. Him and Chad Ochocinco are very interesting guys.
Yeah.
But this man is a marketing genius because he pre-rolls the live emergency podcast addressing the incident. He pre-rolls it with an ad for him doing fucking dick pills. And he said in the podcast, he goes, yeah, the chick I was with, I was on these. The sponsor of their show, which is like dick pills. And I'm like, I respect it. I respect the hustle.
Listen, as long as it's consensual adults and they're getting some.
Hey, man, he's
More power.
56 and he's getting it
More
in.
power to him.
Respect. Respect.
More power to him. It's,
Yeah.
I don't think that'll ever happen to me. I don't think.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
Thanks, Mackie Mac. Hey, bro.
Hey, bro. So we have some stuff to talk about this week.
Do we?
Yeah, well, we were going to do a what's in my mouth, but Tyler dropped the fucking ball.
Oh, I fucking dropped the goddamn.
Oh, I got you, dude. I baited you.
You
326.
You said drop the fucking ball before I said anything.
Yeah, but you said it.
No, we're going off of your swear.
Since when? I thought it was based on when you fuck
I'm
up.
not playing
Anyway, this
it.
is after dark.
I'm
We're
not
recording
playing
at night.
Game anymore because you just broke.
Usually we record in the mornings,
broke
but
the fucking rules.
we're
man.
recording at night.
You just broke the rules and just made
All
it
right,
all.
are you done,
Yeah.
sir?
Yeah.
So the news this week.
This is an Arby's.
Last week, Thursday, we saw the release of the final trailer for Venom: The Last Stand,
Dun dun dun.
which I don't know if it was better or worse, but I will say I sent it to you and I said this looks fucking stupid. I can't wait. And
I agree on both counts.
Look. It goes back to what I was thinking about. Maybe it's doing this podcast. Maybe it's just seeing the fucking idiots that I see on Twitter. Or maybe it's just how I have, as someone who is working on something or creative on the side, maybe it's just how I view art differently than other people. And if you are a hardcore, passionate Venom fan, I'm sorry. But for me, as someone who loves Venom, I am okay with this being as stupid and ridiculous as this looks.
Well, okay.
Because the other two movies satisfied that for me as well.
I was just going to say, like, one of the things that well, first of all, it's kind of for the show, but also you kind of convinced me to watch the first one, and then we went and saw the second one in the theater, was the way you described it to me. And it's like, look, there's bad movie, and how do I say this? It's not
good.
No. But it's not.
Neither of them are good movies.
But it's not total shit like Craven or.
It's entertaining. At the very least, it's entertaining.
Yes,
it's entertaining.
And the first two are entertaining, whether you love Venom or not. Like I think I would. I don't know. I would think a lot of. I don't know, man. There's probably a lot of really hardcore Venom fans that hate these.
Oh
movies.
yeah, there are, and there's a lot of hardcore Venom fans that hated the Spider-Man 2's interpretation of Venom
3.
And I hear you, and I understand you, but let me... No. I'm talking about the video game.
Oh.
And that too, I guess. And I understand you. I get it.
Well, that was studio.
But I also want you to understand me and being like, I'm okay with this.
Mm.
And I'm okay with this version. You know why? Because this is what I think I've started to learn as I've gotten older. Because I used to be that stereotypical, like, gatekeepy fanboy kind of guy. And I've changed on that in a sense of those things that I loved in the past, they don't go anywhere. If something new comes out and it sucks dick, that's fine. It
doesn't ruin my memories.
I still have this movie over here that I loved. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the beauty of these characters.
We are really going to touch on that a lot in my long box.
Okay.
A lot, because I used to be the same way, because I get the desire to be like, hey, I saw this first, right?
Yeah.
What's like Saga is like that comic book series that I love.
Well, because
sometimes it's hard to find, and it's like, who else likes this? Like, I'm the only. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's sometimes you see a movie or you
get proprietary,
or you read a book or something. Yeah, and you feel like you had a fucking fever dream. You're like, there's no other person knows what this is.
Or you really like a band.
Then you see it somewhere and you're like, oh my God, this does exist. Like you thought you dreamed it or something. And then, so yeah, there's that natural attitude of like, well, I liked it before they were big. Like everybody likes them now.
Oh yeah.
Everybody does
God.
that. It's natural.
Yeah.
And again, nature. I want to make it very clear. If you're a comic book purist on this character, then yeah, you probably didn't like these movies. And love it or hate it, this you knew by this time in the third movie they were going to, at this point, triple down on the Venom-Eddie relationship. And it's very clear that Sony is going to try and end this. My guess is that they're going to kill off Eddie, and then the symbiote is still going to end up in the MCU somehow, because there's still that MCU, the piece that was left when he got teleported back to Sony.
We still haven't seen anything with that.
But did they kill it in the trailer of this movie? I don't know. Point is, I think my prediction of this movie, of The Last Dance, is that I think Eddie dies and this version of Venom die, and then there's a new version of Venom that attaches to maybe not Flash from the MCU, because they did a whole different thing with that. But I don't know. You can kind of do whatever, because the comic books at this point, especially with Venomverse and everything else, they've just assumed that like Venom is another Spider-Man type character where you could just throw the symbiote on anybody. And it's kind of been like that forever. It's just recently where they're like, yeah, we could technically make like a Venom Wolverine or a Venom this.
Look, in the comics, they've had a Venomized T-Rex and shit, and they have a Venomized Spider-Ham.
Venom is one of the... But that's what I mean.
Venomized Doc Ock and Venomized Craven.
The Venom symbiote makes sense to be a multiversal thing
that's
that
fine.
You could just throw wherever.
That's kind of the charm of it. And here's the thing, like I was reading comics and buying them monthly, and I'm kicking myself for not saving these in like bags and boards because they're worth a lot now. But when Venom first appeared, like his very first smile, like in a black panel on the very last panel of one, and then there's I think it's issue 300 where he officially debuts, and it's like it's a pretty famous cover by McFarlane. And I remember when Carnage debuted. And look, I'm not a Venom purist, but I'm not gonna lie. When I saw where they were going with the Carnage stuff, when he finally broke out and Cletus, you saw there's a panel where like a piece of the symbiote drips on him, and you're like, and you're reading this, and you're like, come on, we don't need another Venom. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
right? So. But it turns out that, like, I mean, Carnage is really kind of cool, and the idea that there's all these other types of symbiotes is kind of cool.
Classic comic books, which is like where it's like this
You
one
build
thing is
on-
popular,
Well,
so
you build on what other writers have already written. Like the guy,
well, Venom was so popular at the time that they did the Lethal Protector. Like they kept doing that and like
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of miniseries, and that's what led to like separation anxiety, which created like Toxin and Scream and all these
well,
other
the whole
symbiotes.
Venom Space Knight stuff is fucking crazy awesome.
That's much later. That's
I am
with
aware
Flash
of that.
Thompson,
But I'm saying, like, they've done a lot with the Venom character in the comics that if you first read him back in 1988 or 9, whenever he first debuted, that you might be like, what?
in current continuity, Dylan Brock is Venom, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. And then there's
I think
there's,
you're
there's
right.
Venom War is the new event that's coming. I have no
I
fucking
haven't been
idea.
reading actual comics or
No.
Marvel comics in a while.
I haven't been reading comic books at all. Like I've been I usually been reading them in trades
Yeah.
and like arcs or whatever. But
no, it's shit. It's indicative of if you're a comic book fan, we talked about Action Comics #1 last year or week.
feels like a year though. Yeah, I get you.
Last week we talked about that and how different like the story in there is compared to like even 10 years later or 20 years later. You know what I mean? And nobody who read all those Silver Age stuff was like, hey, Superman never flew.
I reference,
Nobody did that.
I reference it a lot, but like
It's because we're fucking bored these
I
days.
own it, so that's why I always point out my bookcase in my basement. Oh yeah, The Dark Knight Returns, one of the most
Seminal.
one of the most celebrated Batman stories ever. The Dark Knight Returns. You read it, it very much is like, yes, this is a book that was written in 1985. Same with Watchmen. As much as I love that book, it very much is like addictive, especially because it's like, yeah, it's set in that time, but it definitely feels like it's that. And yeah, I get what you mean with that. And
So yeah, the whole idea of being a comic book purist in itself is kind of dopey when you get down to it.
and yeah, look, I could understand there's somebody that would like a serious interpretation of the character,
Sure.
and they maybe not have gotten it with these movies.
Sure.
But again, even in the comics, Venom has always been kind of a silly foil to Spider. Like when he's first introduced in that first couple arcs, yes, he's a serious, legitimate threat. But at a certain point, when Carnage comes in, Venom reached a certain level of popularity. It's just like pro wrestling and comic books, the same thing, where it's like they get their villain is so cool and interesting and popular that it eventually gets over with fans, so they're like, oh, we have to make them an anti-hero. And in that process, he got a little bit sillier because you had to be a little bit more likable.
Yeah.
Have these movies doubled and tripled down on it and got a little over the top? Yeah. Like, the messing up the We Are Venom bit is like, it doesn't make sense because you said it in the first movie? And, like, why would you fuck it up now in the third movie? Like, what? Okay. Everything else I'm interested in. The fact that and what I thought from the first trailer gets a little bit more clarification here. That I was like, okay, we're committing to the Clintar shit, and we're doing the Donny Cates Knull stuff, and we'll get into that here in a minute. What he thinks about that, but like, it is like we are committing to this. We are committing to this being like, oh, Tom Hardy, this is it. Like he said, this is his last movie. Like this is what this seems like.
Yep.
And so to do that, we're gonna go to the biggest, most recent villain. And I think they said it was Norman Reedus was going to be Knull, which is an interesting choice. But
I'll take that.
To me, it makes the most sense to go here narratively if we're going to commit to like this is the end of this Eddie Brock and this Venom and Tom Hardy's story.
Yeah.
Why not go for Knull? Why not go for the big guy?
Why not go for the gusto?
What are your thoughts on it being Knull?
I'm a big fan. Doesn't he have the all black, the Necro sword, or?
Yeah, and they never refer to it as that in Love and Thunder.
No, they
but
never do.
Technically, that is the blade that Gore carries.
Is
in the
that
comics.
maybe why they didn't call that in the MCU and they're going to call it that here?
Yes, because I think there's some sort of weird
Because
rule
he's a
that if something
Spider-Man
is used in the Sony universe, it can't be used in the MCU.
I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I think it's just fucking.
I'm excited to see it. When does it come out?
I would be a hypocrite to say like I don't like to be like
When is it?
because I just stop. I'll get there. October 25th. I hate that you did that while I was in the middle of a thought.
I'm sorry. Go. That's totally my bad. Go. Don't tell me you lost it.
No, I lost it. Fucking lost it. So
Sorry.
So anyway, so yes, we get a glimpse of him in the
Do you
trailer.
want to stop and go back? And maybe
No,
you
I
can
don't
remember?
care. No, it's whatever. I want to get to this part. Okay. Again, it sounds stupid and ridiculous, but Venom horse, I'm still in. I still
Sure.
love it.
Dude, like I said, they have a fucking Venom T-Rex in the goddamn comics. Everybody just calm.
Everything
the
needs to
fuck
be
down.
venomized.
And the Venomized Lego T-Rex was awesome.
Yeah.
It was cool. They had a little feature. They had like a little special feature where you could like hook a character in like his jaw with like a symbiote
Yeah.
net. It was cool. It's cool, man. Yeah. Hey, is it Saturday?
It is.
Fuck yeah! NFL tomorrow.
So the co-creators of Venom, not
Coke?
Venom, of Knull, Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman went to Twitter to talk about it on Thursday. Stegman said, quote, "Yes, I did co-create Knull. No, I didn't know until today that he was going to be in Venom: The Last Dance," which makes me go, "What the fuck?" I'm sure, because you know what it is? Sony didn't want to fucking pay them to consult them. That's why they didn't want to fucking talk to them, right? Because
Even though they have money, more
Yeah,
money than
right?
God.
yes, I do expect to finally be able to afford that lazy river moat around my house. Donny Cates just tweeted LOL and then posted a picture of Venom backwards, so it just says money. Yeah. So yeah, they're not happy about it.
Well,
And he's well. And
I
this
gotta-
isn't the first. This isn't the first time that Donny Cates has talked about this publicly and complained about this publicly. And we've talked about fucking Jim Starlin bitching about it too. Starlin, because yeah, and look, I get why. Look,
Alan Moore.
bitching is the wrong word because he's not bitching because he should get paid, compensated for creating something like that. But at the same time, unpopular opinion,
We talked about this. You are working for Marvel.
it's their
and
character,
DC.
not yours. I'm
If
sorry.
you create something for Marvel or DC, you're not. You might get. Have you seen how stingy they are with that shit?
With their
at
IP?
the
Yeah,
end?
yeah.
At the very end, I think it was I didn't see William Moulton Marston credited for Wonder Woman's creation until I think it was Justice League in the credits. Or maybe it was her own movie. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then they started doing it. But dude, those are like legendary guys. You fucking think they're going to put you in the goddamn credits? If they ever make a movie out of the character that you made for them?
I'm not- and
I don't care.
I think you and I-
get you're trying to be creative, and I love that you came up with these ideas because they are really, really cool. And I feel really fucking bad that you are not getting your worth for creating something. But everybody who works for Marvel and DC, if you're not working for Image or one of those creator-owned companies,
Yeah,
you're
indies.
probably not going to get.
or crowdfunding. Yeah,
And I hate that for you. But it's also like you
It's
knew
shitty.
that when you were doing it.
and I want to be very clear. I do think that it does suck for them, and you said that as well. We're not happy with the system that exists.
No.
But that's just the system that it is, and it's shitty. And you're right. And I want to be clear. I'm not criticizing Ryan or Donny in this situation.
No.
They're both right.
Yeah.
They should be compensated, or at the very least, they should have been consulted and they should have been paid for the consultation. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying they're entitled to that, but I'm just saying Sony should have just at least done them the courtesy of that, or like you said, put their names in the fucking credits.
Which doesn't cost them anything.
Because you know what they do? Because it saves them money, and I understand. I get it. I fucking know that these comic books, it's easier to just say based on characters in the Marvel comics because there's so many different storylines you're pulling from at a different time and all that shit.
Yes.
But in a situation
But
like
it
this,
is traceable to find
when it's
who created
Knull,
certain characters.
when it's Knull, yes. Why
Yes.
can't you say Knull character created by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman? Why can't you do that? And that's probably why they have these unions and they fight for these things. And again, I agree that you should have that, but I just I don't want to criticize it. I just think I'm glad that they talked about it because it does bring up an interesting conversation.
Well, okay, yeah, exactly. Like X-Men, okay, is a great example. You're looking at the very first X-Men movie, and there are characters in that movie who are who first appear in giant-size X-Men. There are characters who appear in X-Men #1 in the 60s and characters who appear later like Rogue, okay, and Sabretooth, things like that. Now, we can easily point and say, okay, Uncanny X-Men created by, or created by the works of, Len Wein, Dave Cockrum, Chris Claremont, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, we could say that, but where are we drawing the line? I get that, but again, it doesn't cost you. Don't even tell me actually, when you create the credits, you have to have a certain length. And dude, shut the fuck up because you can afford the extra $10,000, okay? Because you fucking can. Shut up.
Yeah.
And nobody sits through that except for the guys and their families.
You're fucking Sony.
You can afford to fucking put everybody's name. I was just about to say, where do you draw the line? But that's fucking Sony's argument or Marvel's argument. Fuck them, dude. Fuck them.
Yeah.
And they're goddamn rich-ass pieces of fucking, hey, I'm rich. I'm also stingy as fuck. What?
Donny Cates did make a few other tweets about it as we're recording this on Saturday. He did tweet about it on Saturday. Said, quote, okay, bottom line, I turned 40 today, and there's a movie being made where a character that Ryan Stegman and I created it, and it is fighting a character Todd McFarlane created. And guess what? Everything else aside, nothing is going to rob me of thinking that's fucking rad. And you're right, Donnie. You should appreciate that. Have that perspective and be like, hey, it's still pretty fucking cool that this character, because he's talked about how much he's loved the character in the past when he was interviewed when he was writing the character, and so I know how important it is for him to have that. So it is cool that he can at least put everything aside. And
don't get me wrong at all.
At least he has that perspective. It is cool that my character is being used in the movie. You
right.
know what I mean?
As somebody who's, as somebody who's a creator, I would be really, really pissed if my music got used somewhere and it blew up as say in a movie, and that movie blew up and I didn't get any money or whatever for my use of my music. Well, first of all, the way music is right now and the legalities surrounding it, nobody could use my music in a movie or whatever because it would never go anywhere. Somebody would go, hey, that's not yours, and you have to pay whatever, which I'm grateful for, but it also sucks because I can't just say, hey, play my song in your movie. I don't need to get paid.
Licensing.
As long as the exposure gets there, right? So I totally, absolutely understand wanting to have full control of something you created. But at the same time, while you were working for Marvel, when you were creating this character, even if you were like, man, this is awesome and da-da-da, you still had to have known somewhere in the back of your head, wait, I may not get credit for this when all is said and done.
He had one more.
I hate that for you again.
An hour after that, he had another tweet. He said, also, I've been talking with Sony, and I read a script for Venom: The Last Dance, and I'll say this. It is so much bigger and so much more ambitious than you can imagine. And Knull, holy shit. That's how you treat a king. Happy birthday to me. See you at New York Comic Con. So even then, he's saying he's being coy and
being magnanimous.
Because I think what he's saying that now is because I think someone at Sony said, hey, look, if you back off the tweets, I'm sure we can kick you and Ryan some money or something with the box office or something. Because believe it or not, these fucking Venom movies for some reason keep making money. I don't know why. Maybe because I think the audience gets it. I truly think because I think a lot of people don't like these movies, rightfully so. But I guarantee you this, no other podcast in America is going to talk about this movie before it comes out as much as I have, and that's 25 minutes, brother. So there you go.
When does it come out?
October 25th. Comes out 2 days. I want to go and see it then because my birthday is October 27th. I want to see it like that Friday or something.
Well, I
probably can't do it.
I'm probably working that Friday.
Maybe I'll go with my wife.
Maybe
that'll be my gift to myself. Go on a date with my wife. You ever think about that?
Well, that's the week that I'm going to see Iron Maiden.
Well, then fuck you.
Wow.
Then how's that?
Iron Maiden's on the 22nd.
My wife and I will review it then.
Oh, wow. Okay.
How's that? I'm sorry. I'm gonna take my son. Do you think he'd understand it?
Yep. That's smart.
I'm gonna traumatize a 2-year-old.
That's fucking smart.
Absolutely not.
Dude,
There's sometimes I'm watching these kid shows and I kind of have to like be like, oh no, like 'cause he's been like really into like Halloween stuff.
yeah.
Some of them are like a little spooky for a kid show.
I'm not a big fan of horror stuff, and I know it's Halloween, but it's still just
Spooky
like
season, bruh. Spooky season for me starts September 1st and ends October 31st. I'm that guy, you know.
I saw.
I'm not the guy that like wants to put up the decorations in September, but I might.
I saw somebody posted like a movie, like a promo poster for Terrifier 3.
Oh, fuck those movies, dude.
And it's like the dude with like
Not for me.
Santa Claus here, and he has no face, and there's a chainsaw in his like chest, like sticking out, like he's been chainsawed through the and then the dude is wearing presumably Santa's face like around his neck, and I'm looking at it, and this person's like, can't wait for this to come out, like seriously, and I'm like, why? What the fuck even is that? It looks so stupid and trite.
Hey, it's our show name. We got
and fucking just derivative of nothing. Like, fuck you. Go fuck. You
I wanna
really?
be very
This
clear.
is what you want to do with
I
your
want to
life?
be very clear. I will see either if I go on a date with my wife or not. I will see it. I will see it. It will happen. Because gosh darn it.
I'll go with you that weekend.
You know what? I might even take the day off and go at like 10 a.m.
On Friday?
Like on a Friday by myself.
If I'm not working, I can go.
I'll figure it out.
But I probably won't be starting my new job till that Monday. That next Monday. Whatever that might be.
But like that to me is a funny thing to think about, is like days before I turn 31, literally like 2 days before I turn 31, a third Venom movie is coming out.
I turned 49 this week.
We're all getting to that place where we don't know what we do and who we are when we look in the mirror.
Woke up this morning
I'm
and my
terrible songwriter.
knees didn't work 'cause I'm 49 years
Tyler!
old, you fucking jerk. What?
Tyler, you got some things you want to talk about. You
I
want to
do.
talk about Rogue Savageland, right?
So, yeah, so I think this is an interesting topic for us to cover because we are, I think you and I are we're both fairly common as far as like our politics go. We're liberals, dirty soy boys.
Oh, those
right?
cucks.
Yeah, cucks, whatever they're, and my thing is that there's a lot of brouhaha right now about this new limited series coming out, and it's Rogue Savageland for the Marvel Comics. And my thinking is, I looked at the 3 variant covers for number 1, and while she's wearing, that costume that Jim Lee made up that is very, cheesecakey, whatever, and let's be honest, it inspired all of those Marvel swimsuit issues. Do you remember those? Those were cringe as fuck, but I owned every one of them. Well, the first couple.
Amazingly, that has been mentioned on this podcast more than I would have thought.
It's a really like
A lot of
black
it is-
mark on their whole thing because it was just so weird and why.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the idea is let's make a miniseries about something that already happened, but let's expand upon it, right?
Such a comic book thing to do, yeah.
Here's my thing. About 2 years ago, there was this miniseries that came out called Savage Spider-Man. And I thought no shit. I was in the comic store. There wasn't much of what I wanted that week, and I saw this number 1. I'm like, oh, this is. I like jumping on the ground floor. Why not? I did not realize that this was taken from a previous storyline, like years before. I think it was called Venom Island or something like that. Or I can't remember.
Sure.
But Peter Parker was like stranded on an island with a bunch of other spider people, and he was actually a spider. He was much more anthropomorphized, spider-like. He had the jaws, and you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it was called Savage Spider-Man, and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of cool because I thought it was a different character. It turns out that this whole fucking series is 5 issues expounding upon what happened between 2 issues years before or 3, and I'm like, you fucking dicks. You fucking pieces of shit. First of all, fuck you for, if you really, let's give them a reason to, let's really talk about why Marvel can fuck off for this Rogue Savageland series. Not because it's sexual exploitation, okay? Because I've seen fucking far worse. Dude, they still have Power Woman comics or Power Girl comics on the shelves with her big titty window hanging out. I was at a comic book store the other day, and there it is. Hey. It's Power Girl number 8.
Hey.
Check out my big titty window.
Well, you being a prude about Power
I'm not, but if you're talking, I'm not. But if you're talking about sexual exploitation, that's far worse, right? The thing about this is, it's just the same as people not liking a group of people for some reason. Like, if you're not going to like a certain human being, have a reason. Don't just be blank, well, that person comes from here, or whatever, like that. Let's really give a good reason why we're mad at Marvel for this Rogue Savage, because nobody fucking cares. Nobody fucking cares. It's a cash grab. It's fucking bullshit to just, hey, this was really popular way back in the day, and it's a way we can get Jim Lee back in our clutches for a little bit, and we'll sell a fucking million copies. Let's be mad at Marvel for that. Not because it's sexual exploitation, because boring. I've seen worse. Far worse. On the shelves today. So if
do they
you
still
really
make
want a
Vampirella
reason,
comics?
hell yes. There's this new comic out. I can't remember what it was called, but I was looking at the new issues, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it was just huge boobs. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not mad about it.
I'm not a prude. I ain't hey.
No, I'm not at all. That's what I'm saying. It's not sexual. I mean, I've seen far worse in comics. I mean, the whole stacked, lady with,
Well, and I like that you could say of all the things out of this it's the thing to be most upset about is the fact that it's a pointless thing.
Yeah, who fucking stop with these miniseries that don't have anything to do with anything moving forward. And I know you're I'm talking about watching Agatha All Along next week, and I know you're probably not.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We're not going to review it.
Would you like to watch The Penguin, though? At least the first episode comes out.
When does that come out?
Thursday. August,
yeah, we can do it.
September 19th.
We can do that. We can review The Penguin. I don't mind.
I would like to see
I'll talk about Agatha All Along.
Let me know if it's worth watching, and then I will watch the first 2 episodes.
It's the first 2 episodes, and we got a whole week to decide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you watch it, and then because by the time we record, I could watch both episodes.
But dude, it might turn out to be absolutely
and if
nothing.
it's shit, then I won't watch it, and we can bitch about it on the podcast.
You remember how effusive we were about Moon Knight every fucking week until the last week, and then we're like, "Fuck you, dude," because it was why did we go on this journey?
Yeah,
it was a cool journey, but why?
I just love the fact that you are like me, where it's if it's something I like, I'm going to just enjoy it anyway, and then maybe, eventually I'll talk about it on the podcast. But if it's something I'm not sure about, I'm I will at least talk about part of it so I could talk about it on the show, because my wife is trying to convince me to watch the Twilight movies because I've never watched them. And I told her, I go, the only way I will do it is if we can turn it into modern mythology episodes. Or something
that would
on
be
this
really
show.
cool.
But I'm saying
I'd like to learn about it.
No, you don't want to do this. That's all I'm doing.
No, and I don't want to.
But my
watch
thing
them.
is for her, is like, I was like, fine, if I have to sit through it, you have to do a podcast with me, because she's always so
Right.
like shy to do a podcast with me.
Is
So
she
I'm like,
really into
so
those movies?
I am trying to. I don't even know, and that's the funny thing. It's like she read the books, she saw the movies, like because her and I were both in high school when it was like going off, and I was talking to a friend about it, and she's like, "How have you never seen these movies?" Because I've never seen them, and I said, honestly, I think it's because at the time I didn't date a girl that was into it when I was in high school, and so I kind of just avoided it altogether, and as you know. As I've gotten older, like it never popped up because it's like these weird. But I remember it being such this big phenomenon when it was coming out. But it's like that idea of like the Agatha, where you're like, I'll watch at least the first 2 episodes and report back to be like if it's even worth.
Well, like I
your time.
saw Titanic because a girl that I was dating wanted me to watch it, and I liked her.
You know, how many trashy reality TV shows we watch together because she just starts watching it because it's just something to have in the background while you're doing other shit.
I can tell you one thing about Titanic: all the technical awards that it won, totally deserved. Everything else, go fuck yourself.
That's a movie I've never actually watched all the way.
I can't believe that it grossed so much. It's not even that good.
But
Billy Zane is the fucking main villain,
But
dude.
he-
And I don't care what you say about him. Billy Zane is a bad actor. Yeah.
The Phantom?
Yep.
We should review that for this show. Have
We
you
should.
seen that? As a kid, I watched that movie way too much.
I don't want to say he's not a bad.
It's not a
he's
good
just
movie,
hammy.
by the way.
He's
The
fucking-
Phantom?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
extremely
I saw
cheesy.
that in the theater, dude.
Fucking what?
Oh yeah, because it was a superhero movie.
It was 96, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, but my brother and I went and saw all those types of movies. No,
Oh,
I thought it
fuck.
was in the 80s.
No, because I remember watching it as a kid.
We saw The Shadow in the theater with Alec Baldwin.
The Phantom. Billy Zane. Yeah, 96.
Wow. I know I saw it in the theater, but I was out of high school, so I was drinking by then.
God, that costume is amazing.
Oh, yeah,
Gosh, we got to find it.
So
streaming
comic
somewhere.
accurate. So comic accurate.
I've never seen The Rocketeer. Is that any good?
Rocketeer was awesome.
That
We
was
should
just
review
listing
that
off
movie.
movies.
That was one of the few like non-Marvel DC. Well, now it's owned by Disney. Well, I mean Disney owns Marvel, and they owned the Rocketeer back then. So yeah. Anyway, but Rocketeer was cool because it was a non-Marvel DC like superhero. It was a indie. Was it Dark Horse? I don't remember where Rocketeer was made or published.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was totally an indie comic, and that like gave a lot of hope. That's when I think that's something that helped Dark Horse. It was because when I first got Dark Horse comics, they were making these really shitty adaptations of like Terminator comics. Like they were terrible, like just bad.
Oh, that's another thing too. I wanted to check this out.
But they had the IP, they had the comic license.
Yeah, I want to segue into that in a second. But
Was it? It might not have been Dark Horse. Anyway, doesn't matter.
I see. This is the hard thing about all this is looping it back around to kind of put a bow on it. Of like, on one hand, I can like I said at the beginning of the show, where like those other interpretations of these characters that I love are not gonna go away, right? But at the same time, I see where you're coming from, where it's like. It just feels like these things are created as a cash grab or to get headlines, to get people being like upset about it. Yeah. It's all clickbait, rage bait shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just doesn't feel like it's done for the right reasons, you know? And
well, you review bomb something you've never seen because you heard something about
yeah,
it. You know,
it's just.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I clearly, there's somebody who has a lot of eyes on him who thinks that they're eating fucking cats in Ohio. Okay, so because he heard about it. Okay, I mean,
I saw it on TV.
Look, motherfuckers. I mean, nobody's immune to it. I get it, but you know, stop. Don't just open your mouth and just say whatever comes to mind.
Yeah,
think about it for a moment. You know. Fuck's sake.
So you were talking about the Terminator stuff? You're talking...
yeah, I think it was Dark Horse. Because they had Alien and Predator and Terminator. They had the licenses back in the 80s.
I believe they released it on Judgment Day, August 29th.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to check it out because I'm not really into anime at all.
Oh.
But there is a Terminator anime that's on Netflix right now.
Oh.
That
There's a Rick and Morty anime.
Also, by the way, it looks really interesting. Like it's gory, it's violent.
I watched some of the. There's a Fantastic Four cartoon on Disney Plus that ran back in I think the aughts. And it's very anime produced.
Oh, they did a back in like 2008, 2009. They did like, they did an Iron Man anime.
Yeah.
They did a
those
Blade
were separate
anime.
ones. But yeah,
I think they did a Wolverine anime too.
I didn't really see any of those, but look, those are perfect examples. Like you're taking characters that people know and love, and we've talked about it with
You're
Space
trying a
Age
different style
and Dark
yeah.
Age. And it's like one thing I want us to review is something called the Superman Madman Hullabaloo. And what it is it's I can't remember who wrote it, but it's Mike Allred's first major comic book work, like for DC or Marvel. Now he's done tons of shit for both.
Yeah.
But this was the first time he actually got his hands on one of Superman, which is one of the biggest. And it's awesome the way that he. I think it's written by Allred. It's awesome the way he plays with the character. It's the same character from your comics, but it's just interpreted by a different guy a different way. And that's how we want to see all these reboots. We want to see the show reboot was great on Hulu. I've been watching the Night Court reboot, which has its hits and its misses, right?
Yeah.
We've all seen, there was a Bad Boys movie recently.
There's another one that was on CBS that I saw when I was watching a football game. And I was like, what the hell is this?
Well, The Connors is another one, even though it was Roseanne before. But you know what I mean? That's from back in the day.
Yeah.
That's a reboot. There's so much of that shit going on, and I think that leads us perfectly into the long box.
Well, okay. Well, I was just gonna say on top of that is like the one that always strikes me is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
I will never I really, 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 really like the new one. The one that just
the
came
new
out.
movie was great.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I
However,
don't really understand.
the Michael Bay shit. The Michael Bay shit.
Oh yeah, I didn't see any of that.
Everybody's freaking out, and I had friends freaking out. I looked at them and I said, that was a moment when I first said, I was like, I don't give a shit. They're like, why? I'm like, because those 90s movies that I liked aren't going anywhere. And I can still watch them. And I can still enjoy them. That's another thing. People need to understand, nothing can truly taint, air quotes, a legacy because it's all fucking fake.
Dude, the continuity.
You know what I mean? It's all fiction.
After Transformers, I think it's I can't remember, but it's called something like that first cartoon run, okay? It's called something, and then after that, the continuity of the Transformers is fucking insane, right? IDW and Booms, or I think they've done a lot of shit with it, right?
Yeah.
But does that change how I feel about that first cartoon run? The fact that there's all these comic books out there that I'm never going to read? No, it doesn't. Why? Because I'm still going to be able to watch that cartoon and go, oh, that was cool. You know?
Yeah, right.
And that
it never leaves.
And it perfectly leads into the long box.
Oh no, hold on. I'm trying to pull it up. That's what I was doing.
But also, there's that new one coming out, Transformers 1.
Yeah.
You ready? And that leads us into the long box.
It's the long box.
Every time you start that sounder, I think you're talking because it's so good.
Yeah. You don't even know.
Yeah.
You're like,
so reboots. Reboots. That show.
This is actually
being canceled on Hulu was a fucking
by the
travesty.
Way,
that show was awesome.
The Scream 5 said this. It's a requel. It's a reboot sequel.
I'm gonna throw up
because if you think about it, in a way, a legacy sequel, if you will.
If you think about it.
If you think about it,
Dr. Sleep was technically a requel because they acknowledged the movie version,
not the book,
but they also acknowledged the book version.
Well, there you go. But anyway, you saw
Beetlejuice. And a couple of weeks,
That's fun.
a couple of months ago, I think we saw the trailer during a movie, you and I. I can't remember which one, but I was like, oh, fucking bullshit, right? I think I said exactly, was like, give me a fucking break. And we came and did the podcast that day, and I remember just being like, Winona, that fucking hairstyle looks awful on you, right? Like, just, what the fuck, right?
Winona!
Winona, why are you doing that? This past Sunday, my brother and I went to the dog park. Every other Sunday, I go with him and his dog at like 7 in the morning. He buys me breakfast, and we go to the dog park, and we just chit-chat about shit, and it's cool, because I get like a weekly, generally, our schedules don't match up very much, so it's nice to have that kind of, regular meeting with my brother. It's kind of like going to coffee with your sister or with your mom, whatever. And so we're talking about Beetlejuice, and I'm like, oh, God, that just came out, didn't it? And da-da-da, I'm telling him about the Cartoon Rewind on Prime. And all last week, every time I went to Prime, the Cartoon Rewind was Beetlejuice, the animated show back in the 80s, which is underrated. Yeah, believe it or not. Anyway, and so I told him that. He's like, yeah, I went and saw it. And I'm like, oh, how was it? And he's like, it was pretty good. And he started... He was talking to me about Frozen Empire. And
How did he feel about that movie?
He didn't mind it.
Man, I hated that movie.
I know. We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that he described Frozen Empire, the difference between that and the first one, Afterlife.
Yeah.
The differences. And what, and he's like, so Frozen Empire is like this. Beetlejuice is kind of like that. Like, now, the reason why he said that is that in Frozen Empire, it's like an hour before you see a legacy character.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's you spend a lot of time, yeah.
The difference between that and Beetlejuice is you see the legacy characters right away. And in fact, the newer characters have about as much screen time and everything as the auxiliary characters do in the first one. There's proxies for each character from the first one, but the story isn't the same. The story is out of fucking control, actually. And it goes into places that you wouldn't think it would go. Monica Bellucci's in it. So gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, she's like, ridiculous. Anyway, but Winona Ryder's funny. Catherine O'Hara's funny. Justin Theroux's funny. What's her name? Jenna Ortega's funny. Michael Keaton. I'll say this, if I do have any problems with it, it does feel like at points that Michael Keaton was like, I did it. I did it the way I normally would do it. Okay, I'll do it again. I did it. Like there were moments when I couldn't fucking understand what he was saying, which is fine, but that's the only problem I had with it. I'm not going to tell you anything about the plot.
Did you know
because you won't believe it.
Did you know that he improvised most of that in the first movie? At least.
Here's what I'm thinking. That
was it his dialogue.
Here's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I did. And here's what I'm thinking is that I don't know. I don't want to use the phrase phoned it in because that's not what I mean. It's just there were times when it just felt like he's so used to the character that I don't know. I couldn't even say what I'm trying to say. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. The point is that there were a couple of moments when he was in the scene, or when it was a scene involving Beetlejuice that you were like, that was like weird, kind of. It wasn't funny, huh? But Justin Theroux made me laugh out loud. Did you turn down? Oh. Justin Theroux made me laugh out loud a couple times. He plays a like a new agey douchebag with like a little ponytail, and he just kind of plays that proxy for like all of the really hip people in the world right now that we just hate. That just you're so awful with your like soy shit and your fucking and your just. Yeah, right. Like, oh, we're gonna use crystals and whatever. I don't know. Just,
I'll eat your ass.
Basically. I give it a
fuck you.
Yeah, I give it a B plus. The only reason that it's not an A plus is because as I said in my tweet, it was completely unnecessary, but everybody involved looks like they're having fun. They did get some last minute jabs at Jeffrey Jones, whose character dies off screen before the movie really starts, which is great. So we don't have to deal with him. And generally, it's a fun movie. And I'll say this too, that they kept a lot of the effects, like in the waiting room and stuff like those.
Yeah,
They kept a lot of it practical makeup, right? And practical, stunts and whatnot. And that really added a lot. And when we see the sandworms, because you do see them, there was probably some, thought of like, well, we got to update the sandworms so they look more, real, whatever. And I think Burton, rightly so, was like, no, we're going to keep them looking exactly like they did in the first movie when they were fucking claymation, which was a brilliant move on his part. So, all in all, like I said, B+, A-. I'll give it an A- because fucking Willem Dafoe's in it and he kills it like he always does. Yeah.
Willem Dafoe's in it.
He is fucking cool. He is cool. He plays a dead guy who was when he was alive, he was a B-list action movie star, and in the afterlife, he's a cop.
Did he say?
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
He didn't.
Oh, but he looked at Beetlejuice and he said,
Finish it! Finish it!
No, but he has some moments, man.
"Oh,
He's Willem fucking Dafoe, man, and I'll be damned if he isn't great in every fucking thing I've ever seen him in. He's just great. He's just awesome. I'm done with
Oh
it.
my God.
I'm done with my alarm.
are you
clock.
done?
Yeah.
You done living on him? All right, it's time for me.
I love Willem Dafoe. I love Willem Dafoe. I love Willem Dafoe. Okay, I'm done.
All right.
Willem?
Hey, wake up, Willem.
Willem or Donham? You gonna will him? Or won't him?
All right. So my long box is another thing that Tyler's gonna hate. It's a video game.
Fuck you! No, actually, you can just do the. Then I don't have to wake up.
Ew, fuck you.
Somebody's asleep.
Yeah. Anyway, so this time around, this is a video game that really was never gonna be on my radar for a long time. But because of a friend encouraging me to look into it, I picked it up and tried it out.
What is it?
I had heard about it. Yeah, so it's Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. I guess you could just call it Space Marine 2, but yeah, it's in the Warhammer 40K universe. If you're not familiar, and I'm not even gonna fucking attempt to do any of the lore.
Yeah, the thick. That stuff's been around since I was like
That's what I mean.
10.
That's what I mean. If
Yeah.
you think about it, everything in sci-fi that you know and love goes back to fucking Dune and fucking Warhammer. It all is from those two things.
Can I just say one thing? Is when I was like 10 and we first moved to Iowa,
Yeah.
we started buying those little lead figurines for like role playing
that'll
and
cost
stuff.
you a fortune.
They weren't that expensive back then, but
Yeah, then yeah.
yeah. But I don't think I knew what the hell Warhammer 40,000 was. My brother tried to explain it to me, but I bought them because they looked so fucking
Oh, yeah.
cool. They're these little like armored dudes with like 1,000 guns and shit, dude.
Yeah, they're fun.
Okay, just want to say.
Yeah, I know. And
So yeah, it's pretty thick, I'll bet.
so I had a friend of mine that was into it, and he kind of sent me like some YouTube videos of like lore videos, and like this is kind of what it's like. And one of these days, we're gonna do a podcast where he kind of talks about Warhammer and stuff because it is an interesting universe because it's so. Well, you talk about things that are unbelievable. A lot of the plots and ideas in the universe are fucking weird, and I'm like, what? But yeah, it is crazy because I didn't know. I know it had been around for a long time. I had not known it had been around since like the 70s and 80s. So, because there's a funny moment when I was playing with my friend, we were doing a co-op mission, and the main villain that you're fighting in this game is the Tyranids. And I go, oh, these kind of remind me of Xenomorphs. And he goes, funny you say that because these existed before Xenomorphs did. And I was like, yeah, it is. Again, it's most things that you love in sci-fi, there is a definitive line of where it starts. Line of
demarcation.
And that's fine because you understand that like that's just what happens. That's what creates, not every single.
Yeah, don't be a punk about it.
But anyway, this game is Space Marine. It's a third-person shooter, and it is. I played a little bit. I haven't played a ton of the campaign. I played a little bit of that, but it's a video game that I just fucking. It's such a fresh breath of fresh air again to say this in 2024, especially after the shit that's gone on with Concord and Sony and all that, and live service games. Of like where this is a game that yes, there's an online mechanic to it where like there's co-op, there's PvP, like there is online shit to it, but there's a full-fledged like 6-hour campaign that you could just play by yourself and enjoy. So for $70 you're getting a lot. And I think that's just something I admire where, there's so many games that are released with a lot less content for $70 and then they try and nickel and dime you for other shit, and that's not what this game does. There's no in-game store. Like, everything can be earned through just fucking playing the game, which is how video games should fucking work. Yeah. And I have to applaud that, and I'll be honest with you, it is not fucking easy. I'll be honest, the game is hard, even on normal difficulty.
Was it as tough as trying to play that tackling drill in the college game today? We both kept.
No, I'm just terrible at playing defense in that game. But
well, when you're in the game, you're looking from behind yourself, and when you're doing the fucking drill, you're looking from behind the ball carrier, and it's like that doesn't help me.
But this is what I'm saying when like we talked at the beginning of the show about like gatekeeping and shit like that. And look, it is okay to just say, "Hey, that's not my thing," and just be like, not be into stuff. I'm not saying that. But I was saying it's better. It is more fun if you're open-minded and you kind of just lean into like, okay, why is this cool? Why do people like this? Do I like shit like this? And that's what I had to say about this game, where it was like, I'm going in with hardly any knowledge. I know a little bit of knowledge. Don't know a ton. Didn't play the first game. I was just going to go in and have fun with it. And like, what I learned about, like, with like going and seeing Dune, going in blind, and then playing this, not knowing a ton about the Warhammer and stuff, was like, there are just some things that you have to accept as a reader, a viewer, or a player, whatever. There is a rule of cool. There really is a rule of that shit just fucking looks cool, and that is interesting me. Like, that is drawing my eye. That is what it's supposed to do, right? And, like, the beginning of this game, after the first level, there's a whole cut scene where you're getting your new armor and you're becoming a Ultramarine, which is like the highest level you could reach in this. Like, they're the fucking baddest of the bad fucking Marines. And this whole time, this dude he's like putting on your armor, and you're like clanging of like the armor going on. He's reciting these things, and it ends with the tagline of "Your craft is death, your service is eternal." And I'm like, this is like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, this is fucking rad. Like, and then there's moments where like the fucking Tyranids will come at you, and you hit the parry button. They'll come at you, and you'll fucking catch them in the middle of the air with your chainsword and cut them in half and shit. Or you'll like run up to them and do a finisher where like you'll bust their blade off of them and stab them with their own blade, or you'll chop their head. Like, this game is gory as shit. It's fun as shit. And I think they're like any good lore or any good IP, I think what makes it work is how committed it is to being like, that universe is intentionally like over the top and ridiculous, and they try and make it very clear like, this is not a good world to live in, to constantly be engaged with war. Like, it's sad that at some points they have to come out and say that, like, hey, this is not a good world to be in. Like, the whole point of the game is like, it's constantly war. Like, and like, there's just so many things where you're playing this game, and like,
the name is Warhammer 40,000. What do you fucking think it?
The whole and
I thought it was about hammers.
No, my favorite thing about it is just how committed it is to that world, and that you'll be walking and you'll hear just oh, another fallen battle brother, like oh my brother, like they just saying shit like it's sometimes it's over the top broy, but I love it about it, and again it goes back to it's looping it all back to Warhammer. This times when I'm playing it, I'm like, this reminds me of Gears of War, and I'm like, but Gears of War obviously took its inspiration from Warhammer in the first place,
Yeah.
And
it's neat when you see something or when you realize that
you can kind of follow
you
it
love
backwards.
some like there's like an IP that you love and there's a certain part of it that you love, and you're like, wait a second, this was inspired by this.
Yeah.
And then you go and find something like way back, like Jules Verne or something, and you're like, holy shit.
Oh, dude. When I watched the Dune movies, not reading the books, it kind of opened my eyes. I'm like, oh, shit, Herbert was such a huge inspiration on sci-fi.
So much.
But to wrap this up,
Wrap it up.
some other cool
I'll take it.
some other cool things is you can fully customize your armor. So I've been playing with that a lot.
Can you do that on PlayStation?
It's on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
So I can do it? I can play it?
PS5, I'm pretty sure.
No,
Not
I don't
PS4.
get PS4. Fuck. Here, give me a
well-
boo. Fuck you.
Oh well, shit. I put it away.
Well, shit.
It kept going off.
Way to not be prepared.
Boring!
All right, that works.
So there's the campaign. The PvP is fun. There's different, and because you have all the different classes, like one of my favorites is the Bulwark. It's pretty popular. It's straight up just a sword and shield class where you just have a chainsaw and this big ass shield to block the gunfire, and you're just strictly melee. It's a really good class to use in the when you have to control zones, because you can just sit there and defend and just fucking hack dudes up. The PvP is fun. The PvE, the co-op, is interesting because whenever you're doing a campaign mission, whenever it starts, you have a group of 2 other guys with you, and then there's another group of 3. And so, you'll go on a mission, and then you'll tell that other team to be like, hey, and you go over here, do this thing, flip the switch, and do that, blah, blah. So he says that, and when you finish the level, it unlocks it, and then you can go play that level with your friends in co-op, which I think is really fucking cool. That's a little cool detail that's added into the game. Overall, I haven't played a ton of it, but the little bit that I have played, it's been a lot of fun. I'm still kind of trying to figure out the groove of the gameplay, but it is it's just so much fun to just slice up some fucking aliens.
I think what's cool is that for the first time ever, we actually had a really cohesive show, and it was all about it was all about inspiration, inspiring the things that you love. It was also all about how perspective can change, reboots can change. You know what I mean? There was a lot of celebrating the past while also appreciating the future. Wait, reverse that. Shit.
Tyler, I think it's time to think about our lives. I think it was a good one. And you're right. Maybe there was a theme. Well, maybe that theme was, hey, Sony, stop being fucks. No,
maybe that theme was
pay your creators.
Sony, your sandbox could be so much cooler if you let other people play in it. Play in your Spider-Man sandbox.
Also, Donny Cates, where's that fucking God Country show?
Where is our
want that, damn
fucking
it.
check?
Check? Where's our check? I've been getting back into writing, so that's been fun.
See, now we're trying to force it.
What? I'm not
end
trying
it.
to force anything. I'm just trying to end the show on a
Well, I'm
high note.
saying.
You seem real negative, man.
Fuck you. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.